Hey everybody, this is Glidercat and it's time to play. We are back in Captain of Industry. Oh man, there is so much to do. So much to do. I say that every episode probably, but man, this game, there's a million things to go after and look at. I'm actually going to pause. Let me show you what I've been working on in between episodes. Kind of have been increasing our colony size. We're actually running out of room to expand, but I suppose I've got room here. Anyway, I've been growing the colony. We're up to 750 people, and we've got 108 free workers at the moment. I did a bunch of work over here in our oil production area. Oh man, I'm not sure where we left off last episode on this, but I can kind of show you what's going on. We got our cargo dock. We're bringing in crude oil. We've got the cargo depot level 2, so we've got four silos of material coming in. Obviously, it's set to crude oil. Got some storages here. I've got a bunch of storage for water that is being brought down from some groundwater wells. And then we've got 8 distillation setups with stage 1, stage 2. So the 4 pairs of those. The heavy oil that comes out of this process. So that is not those guys, but these guys down here, distillation stage 1, that dumps out heavy oil. What I'm doing with that for now is I'm storing it over here in these big containers. And then first it gets stored into a container. If the containers are all full, we can't store anymore, it's just going to burn off in this flare. And then from the storage, I'm routing that heavy oil back to this boiler setup. So I've got 2 boilers set up for heavy oil to burn. And then it's a whole similar situation with the light oil. There's our light oil being saved off. There's a flare. If the storage overflows, it'll just start burning itself off. And then we're using light oil in these 3 boilers to generate steam for us. And that steam is powering these turbines. So we're generating all of the island's electricity right now just with kind of waste products from our oil processing. The plus side of that is we get to make use of the stuff that we otherwise would just burn off. At least right now at this stage where we are in the game. So yeah, we get to make use of that stuff. The downside is, we're still heavily polluting. We're kicking out a good amount of sour water from all these distillers. You can see I've got a bunch of fuel stored. I'll maybe add another row of these. But we are throwing away a lot of sour water. One project that is coming soon with that sour water, if we look at what we can do with it, there's a couple things that we do need to do with it. Is it going to show me? Where are you? Sour water. So one thing we can do with sour water is we can process it in a sour water stripper. We have this unlocked. Sour water plus a bit of steam gives us sulfur, ammonia, and water. Water we can obviously recycle back into the whole process. Sulfur, we actually need this for something I'll show you in a second. Ammonia, I don't know. We can take a quick look. And you can really go down the rabbit hole following all these different products and byproducts and how you're going to use them. Right now, we can't do anything with it other than vent it out, and it's going to get polluted. Later, we'll be able to make fertilizer out of that ammonia. For now, it's a waste product. And then sulfur. This is what we're after. Sulfur, we can do a couple things with it that we're super interested in doing, like real soon, like super soon. One is turning it into acid. So in a mixer, we can put sulfur, water, and we get acid. We can use that acid in our copper refining process to get more yield out of our copper ore. So that we should do. That's going to extend the life of our copper mines pretty significantly. So that's one thing. The other thing we need sulfur for is, where is it? It's just rubber. We could use it to make rubber with diesel. Right now, I think we're making rubber with coal. Yeah, our current rubber production is using diesel and coal. But we could do that with this sulfur. I'd like to change over to doing that as well. So those are a few different projects. One is getting our copper to use acid instead of water, and we get more yield. Right now we're using water to process our impure copper into pure copper, and you can see we're losing 4.5 units of copper sheets just in this process we're using now. If we switch over to acid, we get 4.5 sheets per cycle more of this refined copper sheets. So that is kind of an important task, but there's a whole bunch of important tasks. Another one is way over here. I've extended this. This is where we're doing our concrete slabs production. We're using 18 limestone and 3 coal, some water, and it gets us 12 slabs. We want to change to a better process. Do I have it unlocked? Let's right click on this, see where it takes us. We've got our new recipe. This has probably been unlocked for a while. But we've got our new process for concrete slabs. We got 4 options here, actually. That's way more efficient and doesn't consume as much limestone. 18 limestone for 12 slabs is kind of an issue. We're burning through limestone pretty quick. There's a decent amount on the island, but we don't have a good, there's no, as far as I know, there's no offshore limestone mine. Maybe we'll uncover one. I'm not sure if they exist on the world map or not. I kind of think they don't. We can trade for limestone, but long story short, this limestone is kind of I believe it's a harder resource to acquire once you've mined out your deposits on land. So I'd like to get away from it. All of these alternate recipes require cement, and cement itself does consume limestone, but not too terribly much. It's 9 limestone plus a little bit of coal. Later on, we'll be able to use fuel gas. We're going to have tons of fuel gas. But limestone plus a little bit of coal gets us 3 cement. So 9 limestone for 3 cement. There's our 3 cement. So this would be 9. Imagine that being 9 limestone instead of 18. And then we're getting twice as much yield in concrete slabs. So quite a bit more, 4 times more efficient, I think, use of the limestone if we make cement and then bring in sand or crushed slag or gravel or whatever, homemade sand to make our slabs. So I want to get that converted fairly soon too, to save our limestone or start chewing that up less. We've got a little bit, I'm a little worried about coal. Our initial deposits aren't huge. I mean, there's some more in here. It's kind of hard to see with all these designations. Can I turn that off? Boom, yeah. You can see where we're at. We've got a decent amount here. But I don't know if that's going to hold us over very long. We did tap into a coal deposit over here. This looks like it's got quite a bit more to it. And we had set up a power plant using coal. This is actually turned off right now. So this is our backup. This will serve as like an emergency power plant for us if we need it. Right now we're getting by on the byproducts of oil. In fact, do these guys have workers? I guess we could just pause these. These aren't being used. These generators aren't being used either. Let's just pause those. I don't know if there's a downside to leaving them unpaused since there's no workers in these machines. Can I pause those too? No. Anyway, so that's backup power. We got all this coal here, but I'm thinking of routing this coal, taking this coal and routing it down through here, over here, up the hill, over somehow. Maybe over up top here. And then this is our coal belt coming from our existing coal mine. Maybe we connect up to here and have the belt go both directions or something, feeding copper and then supplementing our iron production off to the right as we look at this. That's a project on the list. Just because I'm afraid we're going to run out of coal. Copper is okay. Looks like we've got a little more breathing room with copper, and I think iron, we've got a lot of breathing room. So that's that. We were running really low on wood, and so I did set up a tree farm over here. You can kind of see it if we put these designations back on. set up a tree farm. Pretty simple to do. You just throw down one of these forestry control towers, set up a designation, an area, work area, just like the mine control towers. And you edit the designation to say where you want the trees to be planted. Assign a couple tree planters and assign some tree harvesters. And that's what I did. But now our wood storage is loaded. We have tons. We have tons of wood. Some of that is because I've got shortages of coal coming into my smelting. And so iron's backing up, wood's backing up, waiting on coal to come through. I did set up with our existing coal mine. I do have these guys chewing down a little bit deeper to tap into more coal. That's created a bit of a delay here. These are our coal hoppers. So we're waiting for these guys to get back up to speed, replenish our coal. But anyway, we got all these trees. I did unassign my 2 or 3 tree harvesters. So they're roaming out in the wild, getting the trees that we have marked for harvesting. I have them working far away just because we have a huge tree supply. We have tons of wood. If we were short on wood, maybe I'd mark these trees for cutting and bring those tree cutters closer to this area. But right now I've got time, so they can bring their stuff over. That said, I still have too much wood. And my tree cutter guys, where are they? Over here. They're often sitting like this. They don't have a place to go drop off the logs. They're full. They can't drop off. So I want to empty my wood storage a bit. And a couple things I can do. I can wait for our production of light construction part 1s to chew through these logs. And or we can trade. So if we go into trading, at the bottom of the screen here, there's a trade button, or you can hit F3, boom. What can we get for logs? These are the instant trades. We can get concrete slabs, which we need, 20 for 20. And we can get iron scrap, 40 for 48. And the more you trade, it does cost unity with every trade, and the deal gets less lucrative the more you trade. But periodically you can keep coming in and get the best deal. So I don't know if this makes sense to do it or not. I'm going to unpause. But half for fun, half for good reason. I set up a storage to hold concrete slabs right near our trading dock. And I think I'm going to trade for concrete slabs, trade out wood. That helps keep my tree cutters doing their thing and clearing out space for us to build on. And it gets us a product that we kind of need and we're actually a little bit short on, which is these concrete slabs. So I just built a simple storage for it. Let's complete that with Unity. And let's do some trades, and maybe periodically I'll come in here and do these trades. So 20 for 20, there's 1, 2. So I guess that's probably good, right? What do we get out of that? We got 120 concrete slabs. Our trucking is a problem. It's extremely busy. And so I'm hoping by having this little storage here, in fact, we should probably upgrade it. I'll let that one upgrade on its own time, though. That a truck will come and just unload these concrete slabs in here, boom, 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 real quick, and it won't burden our trucking fleet too much doing this. And it'll give us the advantage of having some extra concrete slabs. And I've got an abundance of Unity right now. I'm not too concerned about that side of things. I'm tempted to trade wood for that scrap iron too. Put another storage, run a belt somehow, and feed scrap iron maybe into these first 2 blast furnaces, but maybe we'll get to that later. There's just so many, projects, so many projects. So we want to process that sour water. That would get rid of some of the pollution and allow us to do rubber production and more efficient copper. I mentioned that. And then we've got this limestone stuff, using the new recipes to produce concrete slabs to help save our limestone supply. And then we got the coal mine I just mentioned. What else? Not too... those are the main things on my mind right now. I have been slowly scaling up our processing. I did bring the start of our second construction part 1 factory online, so it's just a little bit, you know, just functioning a little bit. Again, you can kind of tell from the belts here that we're lagging on the concrete slabs. The other big thing to deal with the vehicle traffic is trying to get more conveyor belts taking the stone and dirt to our landfill areas. So I haven't really done much there. These guys are kind of keeping up. This is from the coal mine, but I really need to set that up for the copper mine. These are where the hoppers are for the copper mine. They need to be brought way down here, and so we can start filling in this area. Same thing with limestone. Let's get working on limestone this episode. That's enough of my babbling, but hopefully that gets you up to speed with where we're at. One other tiny concern I'll show you. This groundwater well is getting thin, and this is feeding our farms. 6,500 out of 15,000. So a little nervous we're going to run out of water. If we do, maybe we'll borrow from this water supply. This reservoir seems like it's packed, 15,000 basically. So we may need to run a pipe in short order over here if this guy kind of dries out. But let's focus over here on the limestone. I want to get the new stone or the new concrete slab recipes going. Does this guy fill up? Yeah, check it out. Did he empty all this? Nice. Almost. Nice. Nice. So let's go look at those recipes again for the slabs and see which ones we want to use. We can do sand, or we can do manufactured sand. Manufactured sand we can make just from all the stone that's all around us. We've got tons. If we want to do regular sand, we'd have to belt sand from here. It might be more energy efficient, but we'd have to run a big long belt and bring it over. I'm thinking maybe we just grind up some of this rock, or we set up a mining designation just for filling this stuff up. And we make our own manufactured sand. So that recipe again. So maybe one of these slag. We've already got that routed to be used as landfill. So we could take slag from our mining process and grind it up. That is already kind of being routed on this belt. Way down here and being put into a hopper, and then this guy comes and dumps it into the ocean. That's kind of fine. And that production is kind of unpredictable. And it's a little bit anemic, you can see right now, because we're starved out on coal. So let's use the stone. And what else? What else do we need to think about? Our community is a little bit landlocked. We can kind of expand over this way. Eventually, we're going to need to expand to the left or up. So where we place this factory, I guess temporarily we can just do it anywhere here. And we may want to clear out these trees. Let's do it. Let's mark these trees for deletion. This is going to take a bit of time for them to come over here and do it. Let's get this cleared out if we can. And then in order to get our little tree choppers to come way across the island, we got to unmark all this other stuff. So let's shut these off. And we'll get our 3 tree harvesters back over where we really need the land cleared now. How is our wood supply after doing that trade? Yeah, it's pretty good. What's the matter here, fellas? You want to go somewhere you're not supposed to go. Why can't you get over here? Should be a clear path there. I don't remember changing anything. Oh, they're working on the ramp. Oh yeah, this mine kind of collapsed in a little bit. I had an existing ramp going up. I was pushing it back. I thought if I did half of it, This side of the ramp would still be usable, but it turns out the mine actually collapsed down. These guys are close to being reachable. I think I'm just going to ignore all those warnings. This guy's almost at the top of the hill. Oh man, if it's not one thing, it's 20 others. So back to the recipes. Apologize for jumping around. There's just, man, so much to think about in this game. All right. So we want fairly robust production here. Let's look at what the first step. The first step is going to be cement. So let's look at that. And we'll try to stick with the manufactured sand. I know it's probably, like I said, it's probably not the most energy efficient way to go, but I think we should do it. You know, we're going to be tapping water too off of an already strained water system. We'll have to give that some thought. All right. Oops, oh, cement up here, up top. So we need rotary kiln. That's going to get us 3 cement every 60 seconds. Let's and 3 cement for every 24. I would say at least 4 of these kilns. I'm just kind of eyeballing it or just thinking about it. 4 rotary kilns, and we need to feed in limestone, and we need to feed in coal. Let's see. It's time to get to work, and I'm a little nervous about this process. Nervous about where I'm going to fit all this. Where is the rotary kiln? Right in front of me. Am I missing something obvious? There it is. Rotary kiln. So I'm guessing maybe we go kind of left to right. Do the precursors here. Then I need room for belts. We'll kind of follow a similar structure to this factory, where we belt in the resources we need and then just keep heading towards the left. It's not going to line up with that factory. Let's see, I guess as far as I can get it. Start, and then we'll see where we end up. Oops. Planning mode. We're in planning mode. So there's one. Mirror image these. I want to look at the recipe again. Sorry. There's not much, so maybe I can bring one belt down between these. I'll show you what I mean in a second here. Copy that. I'm going to flip. Copy this again. Like that. How much exhaust you put out? 9. We can unpause the first one. Exhaust. Smokestacks cost 10 building parts. Probably not worth trying to share them. Let's just clip those on. I know it's a little bit of a waste. I got an opportunity here to share one, but I'm not going to bother with it. Yeah. That's those. How's this guy? And we got 2 inputs coming in here, the limestone and the coal. So let's run a belt and just test for height here. Don't have to go that high with these. I probably want to, just for the sake of having vehicles, be able to travel more freely. Could do the vertical belts thing too. Let's take electricity. Something fun to try though. Let's flat lift. 4 kilowatts moves products both vertically up or down. So here's a U-shaped lift. How's it gonna work? This way, and then R or shit. Think of how I change the direction on this. Maybe I have to place it. Bear with me. Might be able to get away with one of these and just run belts on the ground. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, see in a minute. Yeah, the throughput on these is hardly anything. Yeah, even with 4, we're not even going to approach the throughput of a single belt. Okay, loose. Let's do... Place that guy down. Oh. How do I do it? There are multiple steps here. Oh, there's got to be multiple steps. I got to figure out the height. Sorry, I have not done this. It's my first time playing with these. But I kind of got an idea how I want to do it. Click once and then up, E. Good. That's the highest. That's the second highest. Let's do highest here. Okay, warning. A part is above transport support height. Connection may not be possible. All right. So I guess maybe this is the highest we can go. And then can I reverse this? We're going to come in from a high belt, bring it down. And then I want one just like it, except a bit smaller. Like one smaller. Maybe it might have to go over one actually. That's the highest. That's the next. That's the next. That. And reverse it. And I'm just getting familiar with these things, so bear with me. What I want to do, U-shaped conveyor. So this guy's going to go... This one's going to be coal, which would be the high belt, which makes sense because that's our high belt over here, I think, is the coal. Do I want storage backup? See how I've got like extra supply of the input product? Well, yeah, this is the input product coming in. So I've got buffers for this coal. Do we want that here? Kind of do. It's going to push me back. Thinking. Put it next door. So what I'm thinking about right now is just how all my smelters have these little buffer hoppers. And these just help if stuff goes down or we get loose on coal or we get, you know, have a problem with coal. Like right now, coal is kind of anemic. So I could kind of unpause this production because he's already got a copper full of coal. So it's just these kind of random scenarios that we benefit by having a little extra cushion. Do we want to do that here? And should we just do it off to the side? A hopper, limestone, and a hopper of coal or something, and then belt. Thinking. Of course, that one's already built. Let's see, we're in planning mode. Let's just take a look and see what this would look like. Show you what I'm thinking. This. Yeah, let's not do the conveyor lifts right now. Try those somewhere else. Let's reverse these two guys. Just got ideas. I'm thinking as I go here. But something like that. We're in planning mode. I'll show you what I'm thinking. So U-shaped conveyors. So here's our... No, we can't. We're going to cross over. I was thinking if this was coal, we could do something like this, right? Coal, coal. Do not go in. Whatever. If need be, do it like that. Limestone over here. But my problem is I have to hop. Give me a minute and I'll get this. I'll come back when I have it all belted, with a buffer here. Kind of would like to have this buffer. All right, I think I might have it. I think I might have it laid out. Turns out having these things flipped so that the ports match is not an advantage because I can't have two belts connected right next to each other. So as long as the products alternate, so limestone is not sitting next to another limestone, it's sitting next to something different, then these little belts are going to line up perfect the way we need them to. So I got to change where I put my little smoky stacks. Is that one actually connected? I hope so. But let's move two of these. This one and this one. Smokestacks. There and there. Always forget to hit shift for some reason. And then the way I've got it routed, this would be my buffer for limestone. We use way more limestone than coal in this process. So I've got two hoppers for that. And I kind of wanted to leave a little room for trucks to get through if possible. So these hoppers are going to be limestone. Okay, and this one's going to be coal. See, I may still change things. This is the idea. These we want to probably unpause because they're going to be required just to get our initial production going. And now I got to get limestone coal over here. Limestone. Let's take a look at the block recipe one more time. Yeah, I only needed to produce the cement. So I guess. I could literally assign the mine control tower just to deliver to these hoppers. We can start with that and then we'll, if we want to change it later, we'll change it later. These guys should have been already assigned. I guess they weren't. Whoops. Yeah, okay, so for the limestone mine, let's assign an export route. I want them to export to this hopper. And then I guess we put a keep full on this. I don't know if I need this step or not. Let's unpause and let some of this stuff get built. Now we need to get coal over here into this guy. Got coal coming across this way. Maybe we branch off. This is all going to go bye-bye, by the way. All of this is what we're replacing. We'll have to reconfigure the water, too. It looks a little goofy where it's at. In fact, we might steal water if I can get it routed. I may try and tap into this big water deposit here and see if I can build with Unity and then get that water piped over this hill and down the side, I guess. Find a spot for some water tanks. That way we're not draining this supply so much. Yeah, this is already warning. Reserve is low. Getting low. All right, that's our limestone. We got to collect that up, put it on a belt, and I think move it left. Let's see what's next. Before I route the coal and the water. Water's not needed here yet. Let's look at the recipe one more time. Not one more time, but the next time. I need manufactured sand and I need gravel. Gravel, I think, is just one more processing. We process gravel into manufactured sand, and then I just need to supply some rock. Oh boy. But we need that. That feels like we could put it... Doesn't need to be in a line. We can put that over here somewhere. Maybe... Let's take a look. We got a bunch of rock here. Tons. It's going to last forever. We could try and set up some kind of... Boy, the terrain's not smooth over here. Ugh. But we could prioritize smoothing that terrain. While I'm thinking about it, and we're unpaused. Can we trade for some more limestone or more bricks for a decent rate? Yeah, we can. Boom, 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 boom. Unity looks okay. I am running the negative in Unity. It gets us another 120 bricks. While I'm dawdling here. Yeah, producing the ground up stuff, maybe over here. Let's just see, is there room for me to build? This mine's going to expand. It's just the terrain is so thin over here. Our tree cutters are trying to free up space. It'd be nice if it was over here. Let's see if we can get these guys to work from the other side. Meaning clear out these trees first. Should have room in the hopper since we just, or in the storage containers, since I just sold a bunch of trees, or sold a bunch of wood, traded it out. Here's our concrete slabs coming up. Hopefully that didn't hit trucking too hard. Trucking actually right now is looking stable. Food, I didn't mention. I set up a bunch of storages for food. I think I may even have the food saver on. Let's look at the food consumption reduced. Let's turn that off. I have the farm yield on. I think we're going to be in the positive on Unity. We'll keep farm yield up, but I'll turn the food saver off. That'll put our Unity in the positive, and we can keep using it for buying concrete slabs on the trading market. So yeah, I'd like to... I got stone here, but I got space to build factory over here. Still got tons of stone here as well. Just we don't really need to mine that right away. Thinking. Could move this over, but I hate to spend the cash to do that. This is all going away. Could do it right here, I guess. Stone from these miners can dump stone into this process. Let's see what that's going to look like and how much we get. Crusher. So we crush rock, we get 24 gravel. These are the small crushers. Eventually we'll unlock bigger ones. Oh man, 24 gravel, and then... Oh man, look at the process to create manufactured sand. It's slow. see. Yeah, slag is a bit faster. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to look at the math on this because we do need gravel and we need the manufactured sand. So I just need to figure out what the best way is to do this. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I think I've got a design started on this for what I want. So this is our limestone into cement. We already saw this. Limestone will come into these hoppers, coal into there, into the kilns, and then out will come this beautiful cement. Not much, even out of 4 of these. It's not going to be a ton of production. Yeah, we're going to get, what is that? 12 production. Let me see what that does on the concrete recipe. We may need more. We don't need to worry about. We're going to have room for it. I think that production is going to stay over here, and we can expand to the right. And then this array of crushers is doing sand, manufactured sand, a bunch of manufactured sand. So these guys kick out 8 sand when given gravel. So it's 8 times 6 is 48 sand coming out of there. And we'll get 48 gravel being produced from rock from these 2 crushers, turning rock that we mine into gravel, and then these guys doing gravel into sand. And then these are 6 guys producing gravel. We're not going to enable these all at once, but once we get belts that support 200 items, we will enable all of them. But I'm trying to build for scale. I think I want to move these guys. See if I can get this stuff. All of you guys maybe up into this area. We'll do our rock processing up here and our concrete production up here somewhere. I guess we can kind of, we'll ballpark it. Man, these guys are still don't have room to dump their trees. Let's sell some more stuff. May go bold here because I really need to clear out space. Iron scrap, let's do it. And let's do a bunch of concrete slabs. I just mainly want to get rid of a bunch of wood so we can clear those trees. Now these guys can move out. That's that. That's those 2 things. And then that is going to feed a bunch of cement mixers. Let's look at the recipe for that one more. The next time, probably be looking at this again. We want concrete mixer level 1, because that's all we have. Level 2s unlocked, but we don't have the construction part 3s that are required to make these. So we'll go with these. And we'll assume that maybe we're going to eventually want 8 of these once they're upgraded to concrete mixers 2 to max a belt. So we'll plan for 8 of these. We're not going to enable them all right away. So 8 of these. They're going to take in manufactured sand, they're going to take in gravel, and they're going to take in water. Right, so it's this recipe. It's this recipe right here. Cement, manufactured sand, gravel, and water. Let's place these. Let's see. Control click on a machine icon to place it. Concrete mixer. I need 8 of these. And I guess I could do them kind of in a row. We're going to dump off onto that belt that's moving right now. That's where the concrete blocks are going to go. So, should be enough room. Let's just see. Ooh. Get a feel for where the ports are. Where does your water go in? Okay. Thinking. Yeah, that's the recipe. Leave room for water, but I want 8 of these. I guess it might be 2 rows. Can we do it? How can we do it? Be right back once I got it laid out. All right, I'm back. I think I've got a design. I want 8 of these for when we scale up. So I'm just trying to make sure that we build with the future in mind. Probably overthinking it. But I want to kind of minimize rework as we expand. So this is what our cement mixers are shaping to look like. Shaping up to look like. Get these belts routed. Loose ones, then we got some flat ones to do there at the bottom. The flat one is the cement that's going to come in. That side's done. We can finish up with the flat ones on the other side. Back to loose conveyors. It doesn't matter which product goes in which side. Apparently. That's fine. All right, those guys are all hooked up. That's 8. Now we need to get product on these belts. So these belts are traveling right to left as we're looking at it here. So I need to get product onto there. We got limestone. We got the cement. We got to bring in from way out here. Oh, I shouldn't have let that get built because I'd like to move this over, but it's this is all going to go away. If this is all going away, this really should be probably right here, right? Let's rip up half of this right now, and we'll accelerate the destruction and see if we can't. Oh man, need more room. I'll show you why. Once we get this maxed out to 24 blocks each, once we upgrade these concrete mixers to level 2, they'll be putting out 24 each, and the output from all 8 of these will almost fill up a belt that holds 200. So our next level belt. We're not there yet. Once that happens, we're gonna need more limestone. So we'll need 3 limestone for every one of these. So that basically means we're gonna scale this out to 8 as well. So I need to leave room for 8. I mean, I could leave it there for now. Let's not. Let's copy this and just see how much room it's going to take. We're in planning mode. Let's do a copy. Can I? Man, I need all that space. I guess I can shift this all over. Let's move this over a bit. Got room. We got room to do that. See what that looks like. These guys can probably go closer together. We line up the top machines. How we doing on space to route belts? I want one more square of space if I can get it. Between these two. Just to have it look the way I want it to look. That's lined up center. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. This stuff I think is gonna go. And the cement, concrete slabs, flat conveyor belt for these guys. Do something like and we're not going to enable all this right out of the gate. concrete slab stuff. I still got to route water. Oh, I did try. I tried to build a water thing here. It won't let me build it with Unity. It's just out of reach. They can't deliver the materials. So we used to, I think ages ago, we used to be able to kind of cheat that in. Just use Unity and build even where you can't get to with your trucks. But it looks like that has been stifled. That little workaround or cheat has been stifled, so we can't do that. All right, so there's our concrete slabs. They're going to come up onto a belt. They're going to join up, I think, with this belt right here. Do that part last. We got sand. That needs to go, and a limestone. Limestone. Should we just move it? Let's take out half of this. Tell you what, let's get 8 more of these placed. Because I think that's what we're going to scale out to eventually. I'm just going to copy one of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, just so I can kind of get the spacing. And now if I cut, or do a, let's say we just do a copy on this, bring this over. It's kind of what I want. Kind of what I want. Yep. I'm going to delete all this mess here. Half of this existing concrete block production. And these guys need to be emptied out. Let's see if I can accelerate at least the stuff that's most in our way. Got a bunch of extra coal. Will this big mess here fit now? Let's see. It does just barely fit. And I think I want to go be right. Oh, it's just barely. Can I get it? I can get it if I place it there. That might work for us. We got all the exhaust, and then we're gonna have a big long conveyor coming out of here. This is the bottom layer of our cement production. Boom. That's how that would all hook in. Connect that up. I think we're gonna commit to doing this. That little nugget. Then sand. U-shaped conveyor for this guy. Comes out here, comes down. That last bit, and then we need to kind of get up. Do a bit of a wiggle to get over there. That, or we come all the way across. Not sure which looks best. We'll just do this for now. That guy snaps in, and then our gravel. Is that up high? No, it's down here. Boom. Low, low, low. To hop up a couple. Don't want to snap in. We got our own lane here. There's the gravel belt connected up. It's coming together. Oh man, so much work, but it is coming together. You there, you there. get to building once we think we've got it. We got water to route. We got these coal belts to hook up. It's not urgent. We're not going to enable those last 4 for a while. What's next? What's next? Water. Oh, man, water. We can't get it from over there. We're going to have to get it from this guy. And we're going to have to shore up that supply, I think. Yeah, this reserve is getting low. I mean, we have a bunch of these tanks. But we're going to have to supplement from this water deposit. These guys are looking really good. In fact, I should pause a couple of them because they're just wasting people and resources. Let's do a quick purchase of... Get rid of wood. Okay. And water. Water, water, water. Yes. Right there. It's actually super convenient. We can come up high. Let's see. Okay, fluid pipes. Guess we'll do level 2 pipes. Almost lines up. I could move it over, everything over 1 nugget. I can't really because there's not quite enough room. It's fine. Let's just wiggle over this. There, and then down. Over and down. Oh man, I'm getting dizzy. Find that connection point. I guess it's right here. That look great. So far, so good. I like it. These are going to be a little off center on this side. I kind of want to go a little further out. Just in case we need to extend and use that water for something else down the road. Pull from the same pipe here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, no, that looks right. Oh, man, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's going to take forever to build, but we're doing it. All right, let's, I think I'm happy with that. All this will go, well, not that. That's going to go away next. We got to do rubber production somewhere else. This will go away. And then, unfortunately, this is going to go away. Let's get rid of it. A little bit of a waste happens. Not worth worrying about. That's gonna go. Yeah, it's too bad I could have made use of that. All right, let's unpause the stuff that needs to be unpaused. Gonna need coal. Low. This coal could probably move over to the other side now, right? So we've got our coal belt here. We're gonna have to wiggle to get it over to the right side. Coal is sitting on top there. Let's see what we can do. Need a belt. Loose. In fact, I don't even need to go low. I need to connect here and somehow get up to there. This corner. Have it now look horrible. Although I want it to go through a storage. Still be able to come up. Place that down as a placeholder. Storage, and we'll just see. This guy has enough room to get back up there. Yeah. I don't like that. So that means this guy goes away. This becomes coal. A little bit of a buffer. We'll upgrade them to level 2 containers. Eventually. There's our limestone coming through. We need more limestone than coal. That's why I've got 2 there. Could probably make it 3. Just out of curiosity, would a third one fit? Yep, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's max it out. This goes. And just copy this guy with the Control C, boink. Boom. Shape conveyor. Can you get under there? It might be a little snug. Might be just a hair too. We're getting too cute, I think. I can't quite get under that. Alright, it's not critical. It's overkill. Let's kill this. We could always do a whole loop of them if we wanted to. That becomes an issue, which I don't think it's going to be, but I just thought we'd try it for fun. Alright. Oh, that's got to be enabled. So let's unpause this. Unpause you. You. Maybe the first 2 of these guys that are making cement for us. Let's unpause all that. Unpause our limestone hoppers. Unpause our first 2 kilns. Smokestacks. And the belt that gets us over to the main concrete production area. All that's got to be enabled. Let's start with 4 of these. Getting 4 of these built. Should, I guess no matter what, we need. Let's do the 4 on this side. Center belt and the pipes. That. Right, that gets us this half working. These guys have the recipe, yeah. Yep. Concrete slabs are going to find their way onto this belt. Could push onto that belt, or we could just come straight across. Maybe we'll push onto this belt just because it sits nicely under the water line, or next to the water line. All right, let's route that one. It's our output belt for concrete slabs. Boom. Let's go this way. Start working our way up, I guess, along here. I'll turn off snapping. That camera work. Be fine. Come down one more. Let's whoops, right click. That's the target height that we need. Okay. That's our concrete slabs, and then they enter the main kind of line here. That needs to be unpaused. Now there's going to be a little nugget, some little belt like this thing or something that's not going to be built because I didn't unpause the construction. All right, we got to get rock into here too. So for these guys, let's do... let's get these belted first, and then we'll enable them. This is our stone. This is our Or I mean stone into gravel, and then these 2 are stone into gravel, and these 6 are gravel into sand. I just need 1 of these and 3 of those or something. Where are we gonna get our rock from? We can just put hoppers here. How do we want to do that? We're gonna be chewing up a fair amount, right? So we probably want them each to have their own hopper. Thinking, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? I may want even 2 belts coming into this. I mean, yeah, 2 belts coming out of the storage feeding this. I guess that won't actually help, would it? So let's do... Need to get to that height. Extend that a bit, and we'll test and see how far I need to come out. What I mean here in a second. So that's not going to stay, but I want to see. This we could have this. Something like that. And storage container. Reverse the direction on this guy. Boom. Storage container. Got a little bit of room here if we wanted to stack things up. Sorry for the camera work there. This guy would go there. And this guy would do something similar. Similar, easy for me to say. You're going to find your way this. That, and then these guys will their thing. Fortunately, I have room for these belts to pass over because they're up high. This is going to get extended out. I can do that off camera. We don't need those hooked up just yet. Oh man, can you see what I'm doing? This will all need to be enabled. I don't mind there being extra rock here. These are going to hold rock. You boom. Okay, those look good. And then maybe one of these. Got a little nugget of belt I don't need. Let's clean that up. You can go. Who knows what else is going on in the colony? I'm not paying attention. Looks like we got lots of construction part 2s, 332 of those. We'll put those to use, building all this stuff probably. My trucking's going to get busy too as I enable all these projects. I think we just need one of these crushers. Since it's a 1-to-3 ratio or 2-to-6 ratio, let's do 3 of these guys doing the manufactured sand. And let's get the belts we forgot. Got planning mode for the first 2. In fact, I may, leave planning mode off because these always get forgotten, so I'm just going to build them right up front. And though we don't need them yet. This doesn't have exhaust or anything. Nope. That's it. One input coming in, one input coming out. Rock comes in from the hoppers, gets turned into gravel, gets split between these guys, and out comes whatever. 24 manufactured sand out of these guys. Comes down this belt. Boom. That belt's all constructed, we hope. And into the first 4 cement mixers. Then we've got gravel. So let's do 3 of these. Pause 3 of these guys. And then the whole output belt. All that's got to be enabled. In fact, again, I might just do these while I see them. Little nuggets, because I overlook them. And I find out later, hours later, that things aren't getting fed the materials they need. Stone, we can assign this guy. That's a little bit far. I think between episodes what I might do, I'll set up a stone hopper here for these guys to dump off their stone, and then I'll probably put a balancer saying if the route going to create concrete blocks is full, then go ahead and send your stone over this way and fill. And I actually did create a path, show you the fill path I've got going here. It's going to take forever, the dump designation. But we got a path here. Coming over to this island. This island has a nice mix of kind of everything we need. Look at the resources on here. We've got a little bit of everything. A little bit of coal, a little bit of oil. We don't really need oil too much now that we're importing it, but we may as well make use of it. A little bit of iron, a little bit of limestone here. A little bit of a good decent amount of copper and a water supply as well. Ooh, yeah, that would be nice. It's going to be a long time before we can get to that though. Water's not super shallow here, so that, and there's going to be spillover, so it's going to take a long time to fill. This limestone we might be able to use for, I think, getting rid of pollution. So I think you need to leave some of that deposit there in order to do that. Let me know in the comments if you happen to know. We're a long ways from dealing with the pollution, pumping carbon dioxide into the limestone deposits or whatever, but either one of these deposits might be good for that. We might try and leave a little layer just in case. Yeah, this looks like, I think this is all gonna work. Starting to get some stone in here. Onto both lines. There's some gravel being made. It's going to hopefully get turned into sand, manufactured sand. We should have plenty of power. Let's go check and see what's going on in diesel land here. Tons of diesel, tons of fuel for our generators. I've got 2 of them on. Oh, I did build these water coolers. I don't have, or these cooling towers to reclaim water from low pressure steam. I don't have construction part 3s yet though. The second row of boilers here is connected to these coolers, and the third one is just going to vent it out. So if we need more power, we'll enable this top row. We've got lots of construction parts. I may build. Start trucking. Trucking still looks good. I'm gonna pause this and just get it built in case we need it in the future. Maybe I'll leave off the smokestacks. So hopefully we'll have construction part 3s soon. Real soon, but soon. But they can start building that. That all looks good. Food, I think we saw earlier. That looks great. Storing up a ton. That's fine. We can, when we are hurt in Unity, we can do plenty of food or something. What else? What else? What else? Be cool to see concrete come off this line, but I think it's not going to happen. Let's get these guys delivering their limestone. Okay, looks like, yeah, is that set up? Yeah, that is. Set for limestone? Yep. These guys are still playing in the dirt, though. I'll keep an eye on that between episodes, too. But we need to get the limestone going. In this process of making the concrete slabs this way is going to save us a ton of limestone in the long run. So we'll leave this guy, I guess I can turn off. I don't know that there's any advantage of, unless I want to burn through this coal. I don't think we need this. I'll turn off the trucks importing. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll wrap the episode here. We got a big thing done here. And we also learned that we can't build with Unity outside of where our trucks can reach. At least that's how I'm interpreting that, which is fair. I'll accept it. We traded some wood. We have a problem with this water reserve we talked about. I might get to that between episodes. Otherwise, we'll do it next episode. But the next big thing I want to do on camera for sure is starting to process this sour water that we're dumping into the ocean when we make our diesel. And turning that into sulfur. Turning the sulfur into acid, and then changing our copper electrolysis to use acid instead of this water. I think that's going to be the way to go. We'll get much more copper yield, and our copper deposit will last a lot longer as a result. And the other thing is maybe thinking about routing a huge long coal belt from here to our main line, just in case this coal deposit runs out. Yeah, that's it for this one. For now, this is Glidercat saying thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this series on Captain of Industry. Love this game. It's probably my favorite one in the genre. As long as you guys are watching and commenting and giving the videos a thumbs up, I'll keep making episodes. Once views and stuff get low, I'll probably stop recording episodes. But I intend to play this map till I'm done with it. And that's going to take about a year, I would think, at least, at my speed, and playing other games in parallel. But I really want to take this thing to the limit. And we got a nice big map to do it. Yeah, I want to thank Glidercat patrons and channel members for their support. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next one.